Hi, welcome back. I hope that you're doing well. I'm going to be doing the accent tag that is going around YouTube. I haven't been tagged by anybody, and I'm not going to tag anybody. I'm just going to say, if you would like to do this, you are welcome to do it. I will put all the questions down below, along with the words that I'm supposed to read and pronounce the way that I would. Now, just for a little background on myself, I currently live in Florida, but I am a native of Chicago and the suburbs. I lived 29 years of my life there. I was born in Chicago, moved to the suburbs when I was almost 10 years old, and have been in Florida since 1994. I don't think that I have much of a southern accent. There's not many of us that do down here because Florida is such a hodgepodge of different areas around the country. I don't think many of us really have a southern drawl. Now, my husband was born in Pittsburgh, but he was raised in South Carolina, and he has a very Carolinian dialect or accent, I should say. Sometimes I pick up words from him and I notice myself, but that's just from being with him for a while and being married. My mother is Spanish and Italian, and she has an accent, and sometimes I pick up certain words from that, even though I don't really speak either languages. And my dad is Polish, but he never really spoke it a lot. His parents did. But anyway, I'm going on and on about my nationalities when I should be doing my tag. I'm going to put on my readers here so that I can read this to you. Alright, let's see. I have my iPhone with questions and all kinds of things. Okay, these are the words that I'm supposed to read. Ant, route, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, sure, data, ruin, crayon, toilet, New Orleans, pecan, both, again, probably, spitting image, Alabama, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, pajamas, caught. So that's how I say it. I don't know if you say it any differently. And now here's the questions. Question number 1 is, what is it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? That is to TP a house. The second one is, what is a bug that when you touch it, what is the bug that when you touch it, it curls into a ball? Now, I think I can take my readers off because this print is not that small. Anyway, that is called a roly-poly, I think. I'm not really sure because I hate bugs, and if they're near me, they need to be gone. Gone. Okay. The third one is, what is the bubbly carbonated drink called? That is called pop. Pop. The next one is, what do you call gym shoes? I call them gym shoes. What do you call, or what do you say to address a group of people? I usually say, hi everyone, or hello. The sixth one is, what do you call the kind of spider or spider-like creature that has an oval-shaped body and extremely long legs? I think that's called a daddy long legs, but once again, there goes the bug question. I cannot stand bugs. Ugh. Anyway, next one is, what do you call your grandparents? Now, excuse me, a little drink of my pop. For me, it was not a regional thing or an accent the way I said it, my grandparents' names. It was totally cultural. Reason being, as I explained in the beginning of the video, on my mother's side, I am Spanish and Italian. And my grandfather was Italian, but I never knew him because he passed away when my mother was a little girl, so I didn't really call him anything. When I refer to him, I call him Papa. I always just have. Now, my grandmother, she was alive till I was about 9. and I called her Mama Tita. Mama for like kind of like the older generation mama, and Tita was the nickname of her name. So I never called her like abuela or abuelita, which are the two names that you would say in Spanish. Now, as far as my father, which is my Polish side, excuse me, I called my grandmother Busha, which is sort of the country version of the word babcia, which is grandmother in Polish. And my grandfather, I called him Jaju. And I've also heard it called Jaji, but we always said Jaju. And that's what I called them. Let's see. What do you call the wheel contraption in which you carry groceries at the supermarket? I call that a shopping cart. Number 9 is, what do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining? I call that a sun shower. And the last thing is, what is the thing you change last question, what is the thing you change the TV channel with? That, in my current home as an adult, we call it the remote. When I was growing up, we called it the clicker, and sometimes my father would call it the remote control. Now, just another little background to my family history. My father worked for Zenith Radio and TV in Chicago for many years, and that is the company that the first remote control, or clicker, whatever you want to call it, was developed. Eventually it was sold to other companies, and other companies kind of took the idea, but that is initially where the first remote control was developed. And my father also will call it a space commander, because within the big plants of Zenith Radio, they called it Space Commander because they named the remote control after the current president of the company, and he was some bigwig in the armed services at one time, and so he will sometimes call it Space Commander. And sometimes when he does it at my house, he'll kind of laugh because he knows we just call it remote. But anyway, long story short, too late. That was a fun little tag. I tag anyone out there that would like to do this, and I would love to hear your responses. So if you want to do it in a video response down below, that would be great. I also want to let you know that I am on Twitter at the Darling Debs. I do have an Instagram, also the Darling Debs, and I have a blogspot, blogger, whatever you want to call it. The link is down below. I don't have many entries in it, sort of working on it slowly, and I hope that you all are having just a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.